What is going on, guys? Name's D3. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. I was actually not even going to do this because what I wanted to do was just kind of release the showcase and explain why I ran what I ran. But there were too many questions asking why this, why not that, why this, why not that. So I'm like, okay, let me just go ahead and give you guys the mindset. So if you want the information, you'll have it, and it'll hopefully help you with making a better decision as far as the team goes. Now, I'm using the Dokkan Battle Team Builder, but it does not have this Gohan in there. So for the purpose of the video, I will be using Intelligence Gohan. Honestly, STR Gohan is basically this Gohan on steroids. It's pretty much the same thing as how Tech SS3 or Physical SS3 Go Tanks, excuse me, not Gogeta. It's late, forgive me if I make little flubs like that. But Go Tanks is basically the same as the Tech one. So it's basically the same unit, but they do have two different links. This one has Saiyan Warrior Race and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another link in here. This one has All in the Family and Z Fighters. I think the other one has those links. Yeah, this one has Saiyan Warrior Race instead. So Z Fighters isn't really usable, neither is All in the Family, so it shouldn't make too much of a difference. All in the Family is kind of usable, but it's not a very good link. It did get updated on JP to being a 15% defensive link. There are some units that have it that we'll go over. Also, Z Fighters, I believe, is a 15% attack link. So unless you go out of your way to actually run it, by example, by using like somebody like this Gohan here, it's not really going to be usable most of the time. But the main candidate that would actually have it is this Gohan here that we'll talk about in a minute. So basically, that's the minor differences that are changed between these two guys. I tried to wait, but just wanted to go ahead and send it out. So this is the team, or basically an amalgam of all of the units that I felt were in contention, right? And this is actually not really the tab I want to be in. This one's the same, but it's kind of laid out a tad differently. So at the top, we have the leader Gohan. Then the next best couple of units would be the two Gotenks guys. And then we have the hard hitters on the left that are up for consideration. Gonna put these guys over here. And then there's a lot going on here. He goes over there too. And supports on the right. Now, I want to go ahead and make this clear once again. I got asked why we have to run support units on teams. For one, you don't have to. You can run whatever the hell you want to run. But understand, the reason they are here, especially the ones that buff attack, let alone the ones that buff key and attack, it varies, right? The reason they're here is, for example, just random spitball numbers. Say you have Pandel on rotation at the same time on the map with STR Gohan and SS3 Gotenks. Random numbers, once again, don't take too much credence to them. Say with that rotation, the way it is, Pandel, Gohan, and Gotenks. Gohan and Gotenks both hit for 1.5 million. Pandel hits for 200,000. Without Pandel, you have another hard hitter, like a Rage Trunks or whatever, for example. This Intelligence Rage Trunks. Then that 1.2 million from Gohan and Gotenks drops to 900,000 or a flat 1 million. And then Trunks hits for like 400,000 or whatever. Overall, having that support unit buff those other two guys and its own collective damage equals more than if you just ran 3 hard hitters. That's why we do that, okay? Want to make that clear because I'm going to have to do it with this team specifically. That is what prompted this video, because of the fact that Gohan as a leader simply does not link well with this team. If you look at what he shares with Gotenks, nothing but prepare for battle. Or no, excuse me, I wish he had prepare for battle. Fierce battle. Nothing but fierce battle. With this guy, Saiyan Lineage and Fierce Battle. That's it. At least Saiyan Lineage is a 1 key link, though, so that's actually kind of usable. But still, that is what prompted this. So if you do not have LR Gohan or LR Trunks, who both share shocking speed with the STR Gohan, and it works great that way, if you don't have them, you have to compensate if you want to have consistent super attacks. So the build that I ran was, in my video, once again, if you check it out, it was these 3 guys at the top. I ran Broadpan, I ran Pandel, and this Gohan right here, the AGL one. Now, what I said you should probably run would be the Gohan, and the Broadpan, right? Gohan, AGL, and STR, and Broadpan, or some combination of those two and Pandel and Broadpan, basically. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this is because people kept asking me, why not Pan, right? Because Pan's better, quote unquote. She has Fierce Battle, fine. She's a really good support unit. She buffs defense. She's basically Pandel on steroids. But there's one thing that Pandel has that Pan does not. it's the fused fighter link. So if you really watch that video I put out, so I implore you guys to go do that. If you watch that video I put out, you will see how consistent it is as far as forcing Gohan to be able to super and allowing for physical Gotenks to super and the other Gotenks, the SS3 one, to get his sweet spot, which is 11 key. It's very good at that. If you drop this Pandel off, yeah, he'll hit a little bit harder, but he's more likely than not going to be able to get exactly what he wants, so it doesn't average out the same way. Of course, she still gives the attack buff, which Pan also gives a defense buff on top of that. They give the same attack buff, but Pan also gives a defense buff. But the problem with that is it's not really necessary. It's just kind of adding more. Like, it's kind of like you have a rotation of 3 support units that all give ki. It's not necessary. They're all at max ki anyway. My point is Gohan is there anyway, giving 50% defense. He's the best support unit on the team defensively. You don't need Pan, right? And then on top of that, Pandel also has a couple of other links that are viable with Gohan. Infighter, which this Pan does not have. Pan right here only shares 2 links with Gohan. They'd be all in the family and a fierce battle, right? Let's see right here. No, Saiyan lineage. That's actually not bad at all, to be honest. Saiyan lineage and wait, I think Pan actually has all in the family though. I could swear she does. I think this Gohan just simply doesn't have it. I think that's what it is. So it's not. See, little things like that are not going to show up, but I could swear that she has it. She does not have Z fighters, but let's look at all in the family. Yeah, she does. So that's another defensive link. So she's not a horrible option, right? It's just as far as the Gotenks are concerned, it's less consistent, which is why I ran Bra Pan. Because, for example, Bra Pan's offering the 3 key. So basically, you have a lot of options. Let's go ahead and weed some of them out before we continue with my explainer. I wanted to explain the mindset because I could just build a team of the 6 hardest hitters here, but you'd never super. Or maybe 1 or 2 guys at super. The video I put out, everybody supered all the time, for the most part. And of course, there is a level of being able to manage your orbs. You still have to be able to manage your orbs, but you can't combat if you manage the orbs right and the game simply doesn't give you good orbs. You can't combat that, right? They've actually that's been an issue before to the point where they had to update the way that the orbs come out. Just so you know, if you haven't been playing for a while, they had to change the way that the orbs are distributed as far as on the map when you're playing and you're selecting orbs to do your attacks. So, other viable options. These are basically all the best units. And if you're wondering about this, right, they're actually going to drop a banner soon, I think this week actually, that has most of these units, if not all of them, on it, right? Because it's a category banner for Gohan because they understand that it's hard to build a mixed Saiyan category. Yes, they're not all half Saiyan. Pandel is not a half Saiyan because she's primarily human. Bullpan either. I think she's close to it. No? One part is half Saiyan, one part's a quarter Saiyan, so she's more human. Pan is like a quarter Saiyan or whatever. So yeah, mixed Saiyan, which is like Goku Jr.'s here. He's the least Saiyan on this list, by the way. He's like several generations removed from being a Saiyan. He's like 1/8 or 1/16 or something crazy. But, right, basically, I kind of lost my train of thought here. You have these 3 guys at the top. And what you would want to focus on from there would be units that have shocking speed. So that innately makes these 2 guys right here, the Gohan and the Gotenks, the next 2 best options on the team. The problem with this Gotenks, he's farmable, he's fine. He hits for about 400,000 on this team, which isn't really a lot, to be honest. When he's SA10 with Supreme with 100% up and all that, he sounds like he should hit for about the same thing that this one does, except this one has like Super Saiyan, so he gets a few better attack links. This guy hits for like over 1 million now. He starts to hit for over 1 million on crits. He hits really hard on this team. While this guy hits for like 400K when they have innately the same thing, 100% up at maximum on the super attack at SE10. So the one problem with this guy is he needs to be in the first slot. Sometimes it's just not going to be valuable to put him in the first slot. If you don't put him in the first slot, he's weaker than he would be, and that's the main issue with this guy. Otherwise, shocking speed and him look at all the links he shares with Gohan. It's great. They share 4 links, if not more, because the other Gohan is a thing and not this one really. So he's great, right? This guy is one of the harder hitting units you could have potentially, and he's really good because he bridges a gap. He has shocking speed and prepare for battle, which incidentally are some of the links that the LR cards have. They have shocking speed and prepare for battle. LR Trunks and Gohan, which is what makes them so good. This guy's really good too, but the problem with him is he's very self-sufficient, which is great, but that is at a hindrance to the STR Gohan because he's taking potentially valuable STR orbs. This guy is very good because he's self-sufficient. Once again, he gives himself ki. He doesn't take orbs in this regard, though. But he doesn't link. Doesn't link well. Shares 2 links with the Gohan up here. It's kind of like all over the place. Shares a bunch of links with physical Gotenks, though. So that's not bad at all. But he shares no links with this guy. It's only going to be Super Saiyan in Fierce Battle. You know, it's just not helpful for Gohan. And it's not really the team's fault. It's Gohan's fault because they went out of their way not to give him prepare for battle, right? That's pretty much what it comes down to. So I've already kind of broken it down for you. You have these 3 guys. They're basically staples at the top. You pretty much want them. I actually even played with dropping this guy for a while in favor of this guy. Trust me, it doesn't work the same way. They're about as equally consistent because you focus on key support down here, which is why when it comes to the support, these 2 guys like these 2 do not beat out units like these 2 right here. These 2 up here don't beat out units like these because even though they give better buffs, it's less consistent. So you got to pick your poison. The real units you would want to run would be these 2. But unfortunately, they're both World Tournament exclusive. These 2 Gohans fit incredibly on this team. Offer attack, defense, and ki for this one, and this one just offers attack and ki, 2 ki. But still, they fit incredibly on the team because it literally covers everything you want your support units to do. So those 3 at the top, these 2 at the bottom, and somebody like one of these 4. It doesn't really matter at that point when you have those 2. It doesn't matter which of these ones you run right here anymore. This guy is good, but he only buffs STR and tech types. That's good if you're only caring about buffing Gohan, which is honestly the main issue, so he gets a pass. Goku Jr. hits for about the same amount as this guy right here. Goku Jr. can, like for example, on certain stages, crit for like 1,000,000 damage or 800k. He's not doing that against a boss stage, right? In most cases. This guy would honestly be the next hardest hitter not in the list. He hits for about 1.2 million on Mono STR, and over here he gets like a 10% increase higher than that team, so he'd be really good too. So it just comes down to what you want to run at that point. Like I said, let's just go ahead and sort out. That's what this tab was for, to be honest. Let's just knock out some of the guys I said would be really good here as far as like the final like 7 or 8 units in consideration. Goodbye. We'll put you right there, you right there. Goodbye to you. You really want him. You really want him. You're a solid option. Solid option. Goodbye. Solid option. Solid option. Solid option. Right? You really want those 4, and you can make out the team whatever you want from there. I think it's most consistent to run 3 supports on this team. It's kind of like extreme intelligence in that way that it really wants that. So if you were to do something like this, simply for the Fierce Battle link on the back end, even though it doesn't truly matter with the Fierce Battle because the first 2 guys will have it, you could do that and then maybe like throw him in there. I'd honestly probably throw this guy in, to be honest. I think he's a little better than the Gotenks is because he doesn't rely on being in the first slot. That's probably the best. This Gotenks, by the way, also gives a 20% attack improvement to the allies, but due to the way it is calculated, it's calculated so late in the turn that it's not that much damage difference. I'm talking like 20k difference. It's not that big of a deal. That's probably a bit of an undersell, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not the same as the passives. The passives trigger way much earlier, and they work a little bit differently. So that's it. I went in depth as much as I could. Once again, make sure that you check out the gameplay video to see some of the parallels I was talking about here. All about consistency, and due to the fact that this team is reliant on the LRs to be optimal, you have to work on running it this way, and I think that holds it back from being as good as maybe a Fusion team or a Shadow Dragon team because they don't rely on those same things. But overall, a very good team, right? It could beat every event in the game, has a lot of HP. Funny story, Rhymesdale sent me a picture in the chat earlier. His team of this team with the LRs on it had 440,000 HP, so it's very good. 170% up to your leader skill to HP is ridiculous. Anyways, that's it. I'm going to go to sleep. My voice is kind of going. Have an awesome day. Thank you guys for the support, and I'll catch you guys later on.